Hello and welcome to the Tea Party Hardy channel. Hey, check this out. Black Lives Matter movement is nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Peace Prize? That's what it says. Let's take a look and see why. And then we'll explore how that works in real life. You might be surprised with the fact of how much I'm going to agree with the reason that they were given this honor. A Norwegian lawmaker has nominated Black Lives Matter movement for the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize, which is 1 for BLM and 4 for Trump. We'll see who wins. 2021 Nobel Peace Prize for bringing attention to racial inequities around the world while dismissing the riots and violence done in the name of the movement. No, Fox News. To the contrary. In fact, I think you're missing the whole point. The racial inequities around the world is exemplified in the riots and violence done in the name of the movement. Because the riots done in the name of the movement have found most of the people, if not all of them, released from any chance of prosecution or persecution. That is, in fact, a racial inequity. I'm on total board with this Norwegian dude. He's correct. The inequity is thick. One example right there, the riots. They were not prosecuted. They were not persecuted. Compare that, because remember, inequity means that there's an out of balance. Compare all of those riots to the singular one on January 6th at Capitol Hill. Not to be confused with the one that happened in 2018 on Capitol Hill. That's a different incident. Yes, there were incidents before January 6th of 2021 where Capitol Hill was sieged and stormed and attacked all the way back in 2018, so we forgive you if you've forgotten. That was a very, very, very long time ago. So let's stay in the modern world. January 6th, those people have been spotlighted on major news networks with their faces on all of them, with their names on all of them, with the FBI doing a most wanted list with them. So yeah, there's definitely an inequity. Completely agree, the evidence is thick. We have more evidence as we go along, but let's look further into the story. In his nomination papers, Norwegian MP Peter Eide said the movement forced nations to reckon with racism and other injustices, The Guardian reported. They are reckoning with them, and they are kowtowing to the racism. They're saying Black Lives Matter is superior. In fact, there's even critical race theory. You know, whitey bad. So, yes, they are reckoning with it, and they are surrendering to the racist who say that all black people are superior to all white people, just like the lady who is up for the, which department is it for Biden? Ironically, the Civil Rights Department, who wrote in her paper when she was in college not long ago, because she's somewhat young, black people are far, far, far superior to white people, and you can't even measure it by statistic methods. That's how smart they are. Whiteys in Europe can't even figure it out. Thank goodness she's been nominated to be on the Civil Rights Board in America. There's a clear-headed, fair person. In his nomination, we did that. I find that one of the key challenges we have seen in America, but also in Europe and Asia, is the kind of increasing conflict based on inequality. Completely concur. There is a lot of conflict based on the inequality. When you have 6+ months of riots and nobody gets prosecuted, and you have one altercation where you had a guy throw a fire hydrant at another human being's head, horrible. Hope that guy gets sent away for a very long time. I kind of hope the people from the other riots would be sent away for a long time too, so that we don't have inequality. And when we get rid of that inequality of the guy who threw the fire extinguisher, and we get rid of the inequality of the guy who burned people alive in the different cities and the riots and destroyed 2 billion plus dollars in businesses. Yes, when they're treated the same, that inequality will be gone. Yay, everybody will applaud. And guess what? The conflict based on that will recede. I am complete agreement with this. Black Lives Matter has become a very important worldwide movement to fight racial injustice. Well, I think that part's wrong. I think it's exposing it with the kowtowing. Let's see. They have had tremendous achievement in raising global awareness and consciousness about racial injustice. Now, I'm right back with agreeing with you. Before Black Lives Matter, tearing down statues was a horrible thing. In fact, it costs a lot of money to put statues up. Now, whether or not you think it's a good idea to waste the money on putting a statue up, that's a different argument. The fact is, it was voted on, it was done, it was put up. And then we stopped the process of voting on taking them down and just decided to have mobs do it. Yeah, so they did bring that to our attention. Now, let's look at some more examples. Let's go up here. One moment, please. Okay, we'll look at that. And then we go over here and we say, oh, did the Black Lives Matter protest against the police lead to 2020 spike in homicides? Well, this guy has an enormous amount of evidence to say, yep, yes it did. So, while they're increasing the homicides in major cities, they're being rewarded with a nomination for a Nobel Peace Prize. Okay. And let's get more personal. Instead of just the mob, let's get one-on-one here, shall we? Remember good old Rashid Brimmage? Yes, he was the one that punched that 92-year-old teacher in New York and knocked her to the ground. Just walking by, punches her in the face. Yes, Rashid Brimmage. Was he treated equally? Was he treated like we're told that black people are treated so differently and so bad? Well, don't have any white people to compare him to, or Chinese people, or Japanese people, or Italians, but I can tell you this. Rashid Brimmage sums up much of what's wrong with the city services in New York, with over 100 arrests. In fact, it's over 103 arrests, not including that one. 103 arrests, and the man was still on the streets. 31 years old, 103 arrests, and still walking on the streets. That does sound like a very unfair system. How is it that he can have all of these attacks? And I can't even say on this channel some of the things that he's done. Let's take a look. Let's see, busted for a misdemeanor harassment charge in the Bronx, nabbed for trespassing. That trespassing you wouldn't stay in jail for. Misdemeanor harassment charge depends on what the harassment was and how much of a misdemeanor it was, or if he talked it down. Nonetheless, arrested March 9th for criminal possession of controlled substances, assault, and attempted weapons. Oh, so many more. 103. So I'm thinking if you can still walk on the streets at 31 years with 103 arrests, yeah, there is something definitely unequal going on. Because they talk about, the justice system is so harsh on black people. Rashid Brimmage hasn't gotten the message yet. This is the one that updates it to 103. The mentally ill, well, that's a nice excuse. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying it's a nice excuse. It's like, oh, okay. 31-year-old is out of prison and mental hospital for entirety of his adult life. Never getting the permanent help. Oh, wow. Woe is him as he beats the crap out of people. His rap sheet includes over 103 arrests that tells the tale of it. Yeah, see here? This is the one I'm not going to say. Can you see that on your screen? Right there. Drug use and public indecency. Yeah. What a sweetheart he is. So is there racial inequity? Kind of starting to look like it. Was he treated so bad he's on the street after 103 arrests? I don't know. Questions raised after the assault. Oh, this is way back when it was only 101. That's before they had found the other 102. There he is, just walking along. And right here is this is what's left of the old lady he just punched, because they don't have the clip. So, yeah. Chilling surveillance video shows the moment that the 92-year-old was thrown to the ground. No, she was punched in broad daylight when Rashid was nice enough to punch her right in the face. I was all bloodied, she told CBS 2. This man did nothing except change my life and almost kill me. Yeah, she's terrified now. Here's this woman that used to go out and have a good time, being all independent at 92, and now she's terrified because of this guy. But don't worry, he'll be right back out on the streets again because that's the way it works. but we're told it's such an unjust system. Oh, we're not done getting personal here. What about the man who was arrested in New York City for his attack on Rick Moranis, which was the exact same style of walking up and punching him? The suspect was apprehended in the subway system a few blocks away from where the attack occurred last month, police said. Now, it's been longer than a month because this was back in November. All right, let's see. Now, this fellow, instead of being 31, he's an ancient 35. A 35-year-old man was arrested Saturday in New York City attack on Rick Moranis of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids fame. Oh, and don't forget SCTV, baby. Suspect Marquis Ventura was spotted by the transit officers in the subway system around 76. Okay, don't want to get into the details now. Just let's see what kind of a rap sheet this guy. He punches 67-year-olds, so that's way younger than the 92-year-old woman. And he's a man, so about the same size, though, because Rick Moranis is not a big guy. All right, so now you'll notice that this doesn't show what he looks like. That's because it's NBC. And we know that there's inequities, because if it was equal, they would have just had his face right up there. Because that's him. Not this guy, not this guy, this guy. So yes, there's inequities, because there's no excuse to not show his face on NBC. Other than racial inequities. Man accused of slugging Rick Moranis has a history of assaulting strangers. Really? Then why is he out on the street? The homeless ex-con accused of sucker-punching actor Rick Moranis has allegedly been randomly attacking strangers in New York City for the past 6 months. It was revealed Sunday night. Why was he still on the streets? Yes, clearly some racial inequity. Yep. And again, for all those people say that there's different justice systems, clearly there are. This guy, Rashid, Marquis, they're all out on the streets having a good time, punching you in the face while you live your life in terror. After that, they're like, whatever, do what you want. They're not going to prosecute you as long as you meet the standards of racial inequity and equality. Now, what about somebody that he beat up a few months before? I could see he was crazy. Earlier victim alleges of Rick Moranis' attack suspect. Nearly 6 months before the allegedly knocked Rick Moranis to the ground outside the actor's Upper West Side apartment, not even safe in the rich part of town in New York. Marquis Ventura was charged with an even more violent, unprovoked attack on the Bronx subway. Yes, even more violent, unprovoked, and he's still on the street 6 months later. I could see he was crazy. The victim in that attack, mom and restaurant manager Ashley Davis, told the Post. I wonder if she's still a restaurant manager in New York after all the lockdowns. I was telling the police, this guy's not right. He's got a mental illness. Apparently they all do. Davis, 34, was on a downtown 5 with her husband Glenn Smith, who's 34, also the same age, how sweet, when Ventura, who'd been walking between the train cars, allegedly jumped them, she said. What do you mean allegedly? They still haven't had the trial? Good grief. Ventura is charged with misdemeanor assault. Misdemeanor! So you can just pound a man and a wife, and it's only a misdemeanor in New York. And they still don't put you in jail. April 13th attack, according to the online court records. This dude just randomly started beating the crap out of me and my husband, she said. He pulled a knife on my... It's only a misdemeanor. He pulled a knife on my husband. He punched my face. I thought he broke my eye socket and jaw, she said. But it's only a misdemeanor. Yes. Thank you very much, Black Lives Matter, for getting the Nobel Peace Prize nomination to expose all of this inequity. There's a lot of it. So again, we've all been told countless times in media, TV shows, news shows, that the justice system is so much more harsh on people of color. Don't you dare say colored people. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. It's people of color. Don't you dare say colored people. That makes you naughty. Yeah. Clearly, we agree there is a definite difference in the justice system. There is inequity. The evidence is everywhere. However, the solution that's being chosen is to ramp up the racism and ramp up the inequity. I don't know how that fixes anything, but that is what they've done. That is what they're promising to do. That is what Joe Biden has signed into executive order along with the other blitz that he's done. Thanks for watching. Be careful out there. We'll see you in the future.